Orlando is one of my favorite places to come and visit, like as often as I possibly can. And while it's a lot easier to plan than some other destinations, we're going to talk today about all the best planning practices so that you can have the best experience when you come here to Universal Orlando Resort. Let's get inside the park. Universal Orlando is a popular destination and becoming more and more so popular with its immersive lands like Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, and more. And that popularity is only growing with incredible seasonal events like Halloween Horror Nights celebrating its 34th year this year, Mardi Gras, and of course the fantastic holiday season. There's a ton of ways that you can plan this vacation. So when is the best time to come to Universal Orlando? The thing is that it really depends on you. Do you have a schedule that requires you to only travel at certain times of the year? Are you looking for lowest crowds? Are you looking for best rates? There's a lot of factors that go into picking the best time of year to visit. If you have a flexible calendar, then these are going to be the best dates if you want a lower ticket rate or if you're wanting for lower hotel rates, and especially for crowd capacity. Universal Orlando offers a lot of great deals and packages to help you get the most out of your vacation, and a lot of times it'll be booking in advance discounts for those hotels, but they also have ticket packages as well. Holiday season, spring break, and summer, I have to warn you that it is going to be the busiest time of year because that's when most people can travel. Sadly, it's also going to be usually the more expensive time of year, but again, you can actually beat some of that added expense for it being a peak season by booking early. I have seen discounts 20, 25, 30, even 40% off for booking in advance. If you want to come to events like Halloween Horror Nights and you really want to get to the beginning of the season, you want to get that fun hype, then there's nothing like the vibe of Premium Scream or even opening night. But I have also heard that closing night is amazing, though I have not been myself. That said, if you just want to experience the event and you don't want the crazy crowds, then I recommend like Wednesday or Thursday, especially Wednesday, like the 3rd or 4th week of September and even early October when it's outside, like early season and closest to Halloween. Same thing goes for Mardi Gras. Avoid the very beginning and the very end. If you come right in the middle, which is usually going to be in February when a lot of people aren't coming anymore, or early March when people are waiting until spring break or summer break, it's going to get you the best rates and fewer people, so that might be the time for you. The holiday season, if you're looking to avoid crowds, maybe come the last week of November or even the first 2 weeks in December, because that week of Thanksgiving tends to be pretty heavy, and so do the last 2 weeks of the year because that's when a lot of people can get time off. And there's something glorious about those few weeks because it's just like calm, quiet, it's not as humid, it's not as hot, and it's just so nice to come enjoy the magic of the holiday season at Universal Orlando. A lot of people ask how much time they need, and that really, again, depends. I personally think at minimum, you need a day per park. If you're looking to come to Universal Orlando and you're like, I know I want to come to Universal Studios Florida and go to Islands of Adventure, make sure you plan 1 day for each minimum. Now, I would highly recommend that you give yourself 3 days because there's a lot to see here, so it's very possible that you get here and you realize that there's so much more that you wanted to see and you didn't get to experience, and then you have that 3rd day as kind of like the backup to go through and experience the things that you missed and that you're like, I kind of want to go back and do that. Universal Orlando Resort comprises of 4 different parks: Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, those are both here off of City Walk on the main part of Universal property, and then there's Volcano Bay, a Polynesian themed water park, and having its grand opening this year in May, Epic Universe. If you're wanting to hit all 3 of the major thrill theme parks that are here, then I would highly recommend 4 or even 5 days. That way you can have 1 per park, a backup day, and a rest day in between. Don't skip on Volcano Bay. I mean, unless you're coming down during the holiday season when it's a little bit chillier here, Volcano Bay is so much fun. They include lockers, so you can just toss your stuff in there. There's lots of shade. It's super lush. It's just a really beautiful water park. Universal Orlando Resort offers different kinds of ticket options. So like other theme parks, there's going to be park-based tickets, or there's going to be an option for you to bounce between different parks. And I highly recommend that you get that park hopper ticket, because if you're over here and you're hanging out and you go into the Wizarding World, but if you walk by King's Cross Station and you see the Hogwarts Express and you're like, oh, I want to go enjoy that, and I highly recommend you do because it's so relaxing and incredibly immersive and really fun and pretty, and it's just everything like that is perfect for Wizarding World nerd, but like it's also a really nice reprieve. You sit down, there's air conditioning, it's very chill, and it gives you this nice little built-in breather amongst your activities that day. But if you want to go do that, you need that park-to-park ticket, because that Hogwarts Express train is going to actually transport you to Hogsmeade in Islands of Adventure. So you need to be able to show that you have access to that park for that day. And I I cannot tell you how many people I've seen at King's Cross or outside of Hogsmeade that are like, well, I want to go on this, and they can't because they don't have a park-to-park ticket. And it's really unfortunate because then you're actually spending more at those locations to upgrade your ticket. So please, please, please do not make that mistake. That said, if you're trying to be as frugal as possible, just understand that that is an attraction you'll have to forego, and then you just do single park tickets. But I think it's very limiting, and I think there's other ways that you can save on your vacation, and I don't think that's a good one. A lot of people wonder if they need Express Pass. If you don't know what Express Pass is, this is an option that you can pay into where it allows you to wait in methods, the Universal Express Pass and the Universal Unlimited Express Pass. So let's talk about the differences between the two. It's going to depend on your vacation budget and your wishes. So if you're only planning like 1 day per park, I would highly recommend it because your experiences are going to be
whether or not
limited,
Express Pass is worth it. It's going to be something that's completely up to you and your budget and the time that you're going to be spending here on your vacation.
One of our favorite things to do is to eat out. We love dining outside of the house. Probably because it's like, it's fun, you don't have to cook it, you don't have the hassle, you don't have the cleanup, and there's just so many different things you can try. Like, we have a very eclectic taste in food, but when it comes to the parks, there's so many different things I love here. There's so many different things I would eat time and time again, but we honestly end up bringing snacks a lot. The Wizarding World locations have some really fun themed food. The atmosphere is absolutely awesome, whether it's in Diagon Alley at the Leaky Cauldron or you're here at the Three Broomsticks in Hogsmeade. There's so many yummy things to eat. They're a theme for the parks, but a very easy way to save money is to bring snacks and maybe only dine twice. You can eat at your resort. You can have like a morning bar, or you can have like a banana and some yogurt, whatever your needs may be. And then what you do is you bring snacks in with you, things like protein bars. I love these almond butters that have the jam with it. It's a nice burst of like fats and sugars to help get some nourishment until you can get something else to eat. Bring refillable water bottles. We have insulated ones as well, and we bring snacks. Also, having snacks like this is going to help you save money overall. You can kind of, have something in between your meals, and when you're walking around and you're expending a lot of energy, you need stuff to fill in that energy. But if you eat at your resort, or if you bring stuff with you and it's in your refrigerator or something like that, then you can have that in the morning, and maybe it's something lighter, and then eat at off-peak meal times. So we'll eat like 11:30, and we'll eat something big, like a big brunch style thing or an early lunch, and then we usually like to eat between 5 or 5:30. There's two big pluses to this. You're only eating 2 big meals instead of 3, and you're spacing snacks in between them. The other thing is it's also easier to find reservations because most people are eating between like 12 and 2, and then between like 6 and 7 and such. So you have a better chance at getting a reservation if you want dining, or even if you're going to a quick service or a table service like this location, then you have a better chance at finding a place to sit down, getting that reprieve that you need for your back, your feet, whatever, and getting yourself something to eat. So if you eat at those off-peak meal times, you bring some snacks, bring a refillable water bottle, or get one of the park refillable cups, and then it's going to include your beverages throughout the rest of your stay, which is going to add up very fast. Now, me and my husband and my family, we don't really drink sodas, but we love like iced tea. The kids like juices. My husband and I like coffee. And if you're going to spend even like $4.50 or $5 for a drip coffee, and you're going to have it over 3 days, 4 days, 6 days, it's going to add up really fast. Now, you can also take that refillable cup. You can get a carabiner clip it to a backpack, and have it outside of your backpack or in a designated spot for a cup, and use that to refill for water. And bring Liquid IV. Liquid IV is one of many solutions when it comes to boosting your hydration. And if you use one of the resort cups instead of one of the theme park cups, then what you can do is you can bring something like a Liquid IV. This is one that has energy added into it in the form of like B12 and green tea, but there's also just like standard Liquid IV. There's like all kinds of different things that you can flavor water with, and that's going to be less costly, and you can refill water everywhere. So it's definitely something to think about if you're trying to save some money. A few suggestions for things to pack. Everyone's packing list is going to look different, but things that I always pack for myself or packed for us when we traveled as a family: at least 2 pairs of shoes, because if it rains and you have a pair that gets soaked, they're not going to dry out by the next day. You're going to need some more shoes. Bring almost double the amount of socks. That way we always had extra pairs if something happened and we need to change them out. We had that option. Either bring an umbrella or ponchos. Please do that, because the ponchos are really expensive and the umbrellas are only going to cover so much, and it's like $20 to $30 a pop for an umbrella, so don't do that. Now, Now down below in the description, I actually have a link to Amazon that has what I bring into the park with me all the time, and it has like an insert for a Loungefly, some Loungefly suggestions, but it also has like ponchos, and it has different kinds of umbrellas and things like that. And one of the things that I love to bring with me is a UV umbrella because it can double as a rain umbrella, right? So the thing with the UV umbrellas is the sun here in Florida gets really hot and it's really intense. And it's funny because a lot of people think whatever, the sun's the same everywhere, but it's just not. It gets very, very intense. So having something that can give you a bit of reprieve, especially if you have sensitive skin or even just to protect your skin, having a UV umbrella is going to be super helpful because it's going to give you that break. It's going to feel like you're in the shade, and I can't even express the difference that you feel. It is very, very tangible. The one in my list is really great because it's super compact. It's like this big. It's awesome. Some other favorites that people love to bring. I haven't purchased a portable fan, and I stress yet, because there has been so many days this summer when I thought, man, I think that would be really nice, and I've just never purchased one, but I'm about ready to purchase one. I did have a friend recommend one to me that felt like a jet engine, and it was just glorious. So I'll put that down below as well. You're also going to want to bring some kind of a mini backpack, full-size backpack, or at the very minimum, a fanny pack. So please bring something that you can bring like a small container of sunblock in, that you can put your umbrella in. Again, refillable cups, water bottles. You can find collapsible ones on Amazon. Otherwise, thermos ones are going to be your best friend because it does get hot, it gets humid, and you're really going to want that cool, refreshing water. But I highly recommend that you bring backup power because you're on your phone a lot, like mobile ordering, trying to find your way, looking at wait times, trying to decide what you want to do next. And you're taking all those pictures. So you're going to want something that's going to help get your phone back to life. I really can just show you what's in my bag. I don't know why I'm not doing that. Maybe we should do that. But I like to keep a little mini one like this. You can oftentimes find them in the travel section or find small ones on Amazon. But this is the bag that I usually bring in with me to Universal Orlando, and I have this great insert inside so I can organize things, but I usually keep my liquid IV up here. I've already used one, I only have one more left, but my liquid IV in here. I have like lip gloss, I have a cable for my power bank. I love that it has like, I don't know if you can see, there we go. It has this little zipper section, and inside here I have like the cutest freaking deodorant. I don't know if you guys have seen these. That's adorable. But I like to have a little touch up just in case. This brand also works really well for me as like an emergency glide. So if I didn't bring my mini like glide for chafing, like this works really well. I also have like a backup hair tie. I have some Band-Aids and some ointment. I have gum. This is like where I usually keep my snacks, is up front. I always have wipes, my wallet. So, and I like, because of the way like it kind of bends right here, I'm able to tuck other things in there, like my sunblock. So this is just like a lifesaver because then it's easy for me to reach in and find whatever it is that I need. I really encourage you to make sure that you have all these little things that you might need, like hand wipes and the sunblock and things like that. You know, you can buy all these things at the resorts. They have them, but of course there is going to be a markup for that. So if you can buy it and you can bring it with you, then it's going to save you some money because like a full-size sunblock is like 3 to 4 times the cost in the resort as it is if you were to get it in Target and bring it. Now, please keep in mind, you can like Instacart, Amazon Fresh order, Target pickup orders, like a lot of these things you can do to your resort. So if there's something you forget, while you can go downstairs and you can grab it, that may be the fastest and the best bet for you. You can order and have it delivered, it just might take longer. Universal Orlando Dining, you can sit down and have table service where you sit down and have a server, they order, and they bring everything to you like standard service would be if you were to go out to eat somewhere. But then they also have what's called table service, and what that means is that you will walk into an establishment, or in this case you can come down a side alleyway and you can sit back here outside, but if you want to sit inside there might be a wait. But you sit down at a table and then you actually scan a barcode, and that barcode is going to give you the menu for your location. You will go ahead and place your order. It'll ask you for your table number. You'll put in your table number, and then your food will be brought to you by a team member. So it's kind of in between doing what you would consider a fast food kind of thing to be, or a mobile order thing to be. Like, you still mobile order, but you get your seat first, which some people like and some people don't. Some people love it when they can just go pick up their food and they can keep moving, they can walk around, whatever. I personally really like the table service option. It makes sure that like I have a table. I'm not now walking around with all of my food trying to figure out where to sit. So it ensures I have a place to sit first. But again, if you dine on off-peak times, like I told you before, it's going to be a lot easier to find that table for you to sit down at. A note about the kind of bag that you bring with you. Universal Orlando and numerous attractions here are not able to to bring your things with you. So please be aware that you might have to put them into a locker, and this is your locker size. Now, if you have a full-size backpack and it's not completely filled, you might be able to squish it in here. I have been able to put a full-size backpack in here, but it gets really tricky if it's that big. So a Loungefly totally fits, or something in that mini backpack size. So just something to keep in mind, because otherwise you might have to pay for a bigger locker rental. To access these lockers, you're going to use your daytime park ticket. Now, if something happens and maybe you've lost it, you can talk with a team member and they're going to help you out, and they're going to make sure that you get your belongings. One thing that I would highly recommend, and this is like before you get into the parks, before you do anything, whatever your ticket is, multi-park, single park, whatever, take a picture of it, put it on your phone, save it, send it to somebody, whatever you got to do to make sure you don't lose that, because if something happens, that's your backup until you can get it verified by a team member. It's a lifesaver, trust me. When it comes to staying off property, here's the thing. A lot of people, when they go and they have a vacation, they want to feel like they're in a bubble. They want to feel like there's nothing else out there. If you can't see, there's a tower right here, right behind the lighthouse at Islands of Adventure. That is Aventura. Before you get to Aventura, there's Lowe's Royal Pacific. Then, just behind me over here, like not even a 5-minute walk, is the Hard Rock Hotel, and then just beyond that is Lowe's Portofino Bay. I did a video, take a look at it. I called it my proximity video. It's like what I had as my project. The whole point of what I was illustrating is how everything is super, super close. You can see everything. It makes it super easy to navigate. It makes it super easy to get around. When you're able to stay here on site, it just makes it that much easier. Sure, there's buses that you can get here from every resort, but several resorts can get here via water taxi, which is super relaxing. So you have a bus option and you have a water taxi option. And I will tell you that the water taxi option also usually has fewer people at security. So that kind of like intensity, or, you know, just kind of like that overwhelm by all the people is a lot lower in that atmosphere, and it's one of the things I highly recommend. My go-to when I stayed here by myself, when I came down for content trips, I would actually stay at Aventura. While I love Cabana Bay and it's like my preferred for style because I'm a mid-century gal, I love it so much. I love Aventura, and it's because the pricing on it is super close to Cabana Bay. It's not on the other side of the street, so you don't have to walk all the way down and then across this bridge and then come down, and it's a lot closer. And even though it's not a water taxi resort, it takes 5-10 minutes at most, depending on your mobility, to get over to Sapphire Falls and go downstairs to where they do have a water taxi. Plus, there's some really great food at Sapphire Falls. I've shared this so many times. It's like my favorite thing. But seriously and truly, like, I always would stay there because sure, there's a bus, but the water taxi is there, and it's far less expensive than stay at Sapphire, but I'm still like within the bubble. And I just can't stress it enough. Now, Universal has a lot of amenities like other resorts. As long as you set up a form of payment inside of the Universal app, you can use your room key to purchase things, which means you can take fewer things with you into the park. So theoretically, you could take like an ID, you can take a form of payment if you need to, and then you can take your room key, which is attached to the Universal app, which is going to have that form of payment. It includes transportation, like I mentioned, but the biggest thing ever is that these resorts, like so many, include early park entry. And if you're trying to not spend money on Universal Express Pass, then being able to get here as early as possible and effectively rope drop or get here before they open, even for early park entry, then that means you're going to get in there and you're going to get on those rides and get through more rides faster because there's fewer guests in the park. And it means you can save yourself some money. I've stayed off-site once, and that was because we were doing a split stay. So we decided to opt for an Airbnb situation, but that said, not everyone is for that. So I highly recommend that you consider staying on-site. As I mentioned earlier in this vlog, they do offer discounts and deals on packages for your hotels, for your tickets. So definitely keep in mind those different options. Reach out to a travel advisor if you have one. If you don't, I'll put one down in the description below for you to reach out to. Very cool person, very kind, really wants people to have the best experience they can and knows like everything. Really like work with a professional. They'll help keep an eye out for you, and just make sure that you plan in advance so that you can get the most out of your budget. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and turn on the notifications so you get all of the fun videos. I do events here. I talk about the parks, and I also have some inspirational stuff I drop every so often on Sundays, and up soon I have so much more content coming that I can't wait to share with you. But until next time, I hope you do everything possible to live your version of a brilliant, bold, beautifully empowered life. Cheers.